This is Rick with the Patriotic Immigrant, and today we're working on part two of my two-part series going into the people that Thomas Massie talked about in Congress a few days ago. I'm going to play that video again real quick in case you guys missed it the first time, and then we're going to get back to the names that he named. All right.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Massie, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Congress created the Department of Justice. Congress funds the Department of Justice, and Congress is responsible for the oversight of the Department of Justice. When will we see justice? I'll tell you what I've not seen. I've not seen any arrests from the revelations in the Epstein files, over 3 million documents describing horrible things, describing unspeakable things. So much of it redacted. Over 24 people have resigned, CEOs, members of government worldwide. But I haven't seen any arrests or investigations here in the United States from this Department of Justice. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, who has since been stripped of his royalty, his royal titles, due to his affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested. Peter Mandelson, who previously served as UK's ambassador to the United States, resigned in disgrace from United Kingdom's House of Lords and the Labour Party, and he's been arrested. Former Prime Minister of Norway, Torbjorn Jagland, has been charged, but we don't see any charges, arrests, or investigations in the United States. What do we see? We see our FBI director celebrating in the locker room at the Olympics overseas. It's fine to be proud of this country, but we should be proud of this country because we have a system of justice that works, and yet we do not. Who are the men that should be investigated? I'll name them right here. Leon Black. You don't even have to see past the redactions to see that this man needs to be investigated. Jess Staley, accused of terrible things. It's right there in the files. Why is he not being investigated? And Leslie Wexner, why did the FBI list him as a co-conspirator in their own documents in a child sex trafficking case, and then tell him, according to him, that they had no questions for him? Why is that? Well, the Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ and the FBI to disclose to us their internal memos and emails about how they made those decisions, whether to prosecute or not prosecute. Yet they have not delivered those memos. And we still don't have the memos and documents and emails from 2008 to explain why Jeffrey Epstein was given such a light sentence in what would have been an open and shut case of child sex trafficking, which allowed him to go back and recommit these terrible crimes, create hundreds of more victims, and ensnare so many other people in his conspiracy. Where are those documents that describe those decisions? We need justice. We want the Department of Justice to get to work, and that's what they need to do now.
All right, guys, so the 3 names that he mentioned that need to be prosecuted are Leon Black, Jess Statley, and Leslie Wexner. So Leon Black. Who is Leon Black? Leon Black is an American multi-billionaire businessman who became famous on Wall Street for managing massive amounts of money. He co-founded a giant financial company called Apollo Global Management, making him one of the richest men on earth. Millions. So before I continue, right? So this is the billionaire class that are on Epstein's list, right? He's one of these names. I'm gonna put a picture of him, and we're gonna discuss what he did. I'm only discussing his sexual crimes. I'm not getting into the financial stuff. I think those are important as well, but I'm only focusing on things he did to children, things he did to women, reasons why this man is a monster and needs to be prosecuted, needs to be taken off the streets. All his products need to be boycotted, right? So he paid millions to Epstein between 2012 and 2017, long after Epstein was already accused and convicted for being a child trafficker and a sex offender. Leon Black paid Epstein a staggering $158 million, and then he later paid another $170 million. I'm not sure what he paid that money for. It's just a fact that that's what he paid him, Epstein, for services. I don't know anyone that deserves over $300 million for a service. So a woman named Jane Doe, right? She remained anonymous, filed a lawsuit against Leon Black. She alleged that when she was 16 years old in 2002, Epstein introduced her to Black at Epstein's New York townhouse, where Black brutally assaulted and raped her. She sued Black, claiming that he used his extreme wealth and power to force her into highly abusive, violent sexual relationships for 6 years. I'm sorry, this is a different person. Her name is... Why did I mess that up? Geneva, right? This actress named Geneva claimed that Black forced her into a relationship and abused her for over 6 years. That I'm more concerned with children than consenting adults being forced into a relationship because the guy has money and power. That just seems transactional to me, and I'm okay with it. Right? I'm not okay with a 16-year-old being raped, brutally raped by Leon Black and Epstein. Right, so there's another woman who has mosaic Down syndrome and autism. She alleged that when she was 16 years old, she was also trafficked by Epstein to his New York home, where Leon Black brutally raped and assaulted her as well. Right, that's who Leon Black is. Right, and these are the people that came forward. These are the people who gone public. How many people did not? Right? That's what we need to understand. And if he's being accused, at the very least, he's hanging with the wrong crowds. Right? I'm 38 years old. I have never been accused of anything ever because I don't hang out in those circles at all. You're hanging out in these circles. You're doing these things. You're best buddies with Epstein, right? And you're being accused of rape. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. So that's Leon Black. Now we're moving on to Jess Staley. He's an American multimillionaire who used to be one of the most powerful bank bosses in the world. He was the head of a global investment bank at JP Morgan Chase and later became the CEO of Barclays, a massive British bank. So the crimes against him, a victim alleged that Staley used physical violence against her and raped her at Epstein's home. An unidentified survivor told FBI that Epstein ordered her to give Staley a massage at Epstein's New York home. She stated that Staley forcefully placed her hand on his genitals and then brutally raped her. And left bloody marks on her arms from where he held her down and scratched her. Legal filings from the survivor allege that Staley was fully aware that Epstein was trafficking minors because he personally witnessed it happen. Investigators uncovered emails between Staley and Epstein where they used Disney character names, which prosecutors heavily implied were code for young women and minors. The contents of one of the emails: after a visit, Staley wrote to Epstein, "That was fun, say hi to Snow White for me." Epstein replied to the email, "What character would you like next?" Jess Staley replied, "Beauty and the Beast." When asked about these emails, he claimed it was strange and he doesn't remember what they were about. A multimillionaire CEO of a bank doesn't remember an email where he's talking about Disney characters and how fun they were to be with. Right? This is Pizzagate, guys. This is another version of Pizzagate. We need to we need to demonize these people. We need to prosecute these people. If we can't get them for these assaults, right? If we can't get them for assault because the statute of limitation, we need to change the laws. We need to get people in Congress that will change the laws. If your politician, your governor, your senator, your congressman, if they refuse to pass these laws, that means they're implicit. Why else would you not want to pass laws removing statute of limitation on rape? The last person on this list is the biggest animal of all. I hate him most of all, right? Leslie Wexner. He's a billionaire with a massive retail empire. Most famously, the founder of Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, Abercrombie & Fitch. Before meeting Wexner in the 1980s, Epstein was not a billionaire. Wexner hired Epstein to manage his money and gave him power of attorney, meaning Epstein had total legal control, able to sign for Wexner's name, buy houses, fly in planes, move his billions of dollars around. The Victoria's Secret trick, right? Let's pause for a second. Wexner made Epstein a billionaire, or gave him access to his billions. Now, Epstein used his connection to Wexner to play this thing called the Victoria's Secret trick. Epstein used his close relationship with Wexner to trick young women by pretending he was a talent recruiter for Victoria's Secret. He used Ghislaine Maxwell, and between both of them, he gave them fake job offers where he lured them to his house and raped hundreds of girls, right? Wexner knew about it, right? They reported crimes to him. Victoria's Secret covered it up. Victoria's Secret is ran by a pedophile and a sexual abuser. Women should not be purchasing their clothes from Victoria's Secret. The Victoria's Secret is that their CEO is a piece of shit degenerate. Sorry. Prominent survivor Virginia Gouffier stated in court documents that Epstein trafficked her to several high-profile men, explicitly naming Lex Wexner as one of them. Mind you, she was a minor at the time. She was 16. Maria Farmer stated in 1996 she was brutally assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at a guest house located on Wexner's private estate. Her and other victims filed a multiple class action lawsuit, and Forbes investigation revealed that top executives under Wexner frequently harassed, propositioned, and assaulted models. Leslie Wexner was also on the Ohio State University board, right? The committee, the board of whatever, the board of directors. So Wexner had been dragged into a separate massive sexual abusive scandal completely unrelated to Epstein, and this time involving the board of directors of the Ohio State University. Dr. Richard Strauss, a medicine doctor physician at Ohio State University, sexually abused at least 177 male student athletes over the decades. Right? Wexner was involved because he was aware of all the claims towards this doctor, and he was part of the board of directors that covered it up for over 20 years. In 2026, federal judges officially ordered Wexner to sit for a mandatory disposition. The survivors are suing Wexner and the university. That's still ongoing for what the teachers actively ignored the abusive complaints, and the board of directors covered it up. Don't go to Ohio State. Don't go to a school where the board of directors covered up sexual assault for over 20 years. Boycott Victoria's Secret. Don't get your shit from Bath & Body Works. I'd rather buy from China than from this monster. Guys, I'm going to keep this video short. Stay vigilant, right? Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your kids. Talk to them about these things. Let them know that these horrible things exist. These are awkward conversations, but I'd rather have them than not and be sorry later. Take care of yourself. Like, follow, share, whatever, all that, or don't. I don't care. Honestly, this is just more for me at this point. I wish you guys the best. Take care.